Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been awesome so far, and today we have a crazy video. There's so much juice, guys. We're starting it off with the Dallas Feel. That's right, guys. Apparently, it seems like they are going to be signing another player, potentially from a Korean contenders team. At least that is what Reddit thinks because of some clues that the Dallas Feel did leave on Twitter, so we're going to be taking a look at what that is and who they possibly might be picking up. Absolutely crazy, guys. Then in the second topic of the video, we are going to be talking about Fissure because his drama never stops. This guy always has something going on. Recently, he's been fighting with a lot of his fans on his YouTube channel and his Discord, his stream. Just his fan base in general has been turning on him, and he's been getting really upset and defensive about it, and because of it, he called out Slasher once again, and Slasher's just like, what are you doing? So we'll be taking a look at those tweets and pretty much everything that's going on with the Fissure drama. And then lastly, guys, we are going to be taking a look at Sideshow's power rankings. We'll be breaking down every single pick he made, so if you guys are excited for this video, do me one quick favor, drop a like on it and subscribe to my channel for more daily content. Anyways, now without further ado, let's jump into it with this Dallas Feel juice. So taking a look at the Dallas Feel Twitter, they posted this, 1/18/29, which is a date for tomorrow, January 18th. And then they have a video, which is a 6-second loop of a boat just sailing through the ocean. Now, when I first saw this on my Twitter feed, I didn't think too much of it. I thought, it's just a Dallas Feel probably hyping up an announcement of an announcement, as they always do. They're like the kings of debating on Twitter. And then I kind of just looked past it. And then I saw a Reddit post talking about this tweet, and everybody was speculating that the Dallas Feel are going to be picking up a new player. And everybody in the comments is saying it's obvious who it is, so let's go ahead and take a look at that Reddit thread real quick. It's titled, Dallas Feel may be hinting at signing GE Pantheon Water. And then down in the comments, the highest upvoted post by 21 Rolly is, this is so stupidly vague, lol, could just be a bait too. And then a guy named Nero responded and he said, we're going on a team boat trip. Which I could definitely see the Dallas Feel pulling this off because, as I said earlier, they have baited a ton and they have made so many announcements, pretended they were going to announce a new player, and then just announced random merch, a bunch of stuff like that. And then this guy down below, we're looking at Jay Harrison, who is a manager, the team manager of Dallas Feel, who has also done a ton of debating himself. He literally came out on Reddit once, and it was during that Thanksgiving Black Friday announcement that they did, and he said, don't worry guys, we're going to announce a new player on Friday. What did they do? They announced merch, not a new player. So you can't even trust this guy. He said this down below in the comments. No one that I've seen so far has got it yet, winky face. And then a Redditor responded to that and he said this, probably going to face more disappointment over us not getting a better flex DPS through water than anything that could be announced. Either way, fault of fan speculation and not the org. Then Jay Harrison responded and he said this, arg mateys. So I'm not too sure what Jay Harrison is trying to hint at here. Maybe he's baiting, maybe people are right, they're signing water. At least I hope they are because that would be a great addition. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about who he is. So yeah, his name is Water. He is from South Korea. He's Korean and he played for GE Pantheon in the Southeast Asian Pacific Division, and which is actually Kefri's team. So some of you guys might have heard of him or you've seen him play if you've been following Kefri's journey through contenders. And he's a really talented player. He's been carrying GE Pantheon the entire season, and he also comes from a team called Going Water S, which was a Korean Open Division and Korean Trials team. Now this Trials team, they placed 4th place in Korean Trials, which is 1 slot away from making it into Korean contenders. So he's basically 1 placement away from getting into Korean contenders, and then went and decided to join GE Pantheon in Southeast Asian contenders. And once again, he's been an amazing performer over there. He's really carried Kefri's team as far as they've got. They did end up losing to Nova Esports 2-3, so it was like super close, and Nova Esports right now is in the finals, set to take on Hong Kong Attitude. And I think the main reason why people are speculating why Water would join Dallas Feel is because he's a perfect fit. He is that DPS flex player that they need, the one that plays Genji, Pharah, Hanzo, Junkrat, and even more. The guy can play so many different heroes at such a high level, and he looked great in Southeast Asian contenders, so I could see why people would want him to join the Dallas Feel. I know Dallas already has 4 DPS players, but hey, nothing stopped the San Francisco Shock from signing 5 DPS players 2 seasons in a row, so why can't the Dallas Feel do it? They have the space on the roster. Right now they're only sitting at 10 players, so they have space for 2 more. I don't know. I want them to sign Water. If they do, I would bump them up from 13 to maybe like 10 or 9 in my power rankings. And I know you guys were really upset that I put them at 13, but honestly, that's where I feel they're going to land. So let me know if you guys are excited for this, if you do want Water to join the Dallas Fuel, or if you think the Dallas Fuel is debating us, because again, it is in their track record. They like to debate, so I have no idea what's going to happen. Leave a comment down below. And now let's move on to this Fissure drama. Okay, so this situation is very weird, and honestly, I don't fully understand it completely because it's like a Korean thing. So in Korea, there is this term that people use, and it's kind of classified as sexual harassment, and it has to do with stalling baby diva. So like there's some phrase that people use in Korea that kind of sexualizes the stalling of baby diva. So like when you surround diva and you like just make her uncomfortable, they think of it as like a real life situation. I don't know, it's super weird. I think it's because of the phrase, the words, the name of diva with something else in Korean. I don't know exactly, but I've read up on it on Twitter, and that kind of seems to be what it is. Again, I don't fully 100% understand it, but the situation here is that in a video Fissure uploaded to YouTube, or his editor, let me make that clear, Fissure's editor uploaded video to Fissure's YouTube channel, and in that video, this term was used. Now, apparently it was not used by Fissure, and his editor kind of slipped it in there just because, I don't know, he thought it was funny or something. And then because of this just caused a whole entire crazy storm of drama for Fissure. A lot of his Korean fans were turning on him because they thought it was inappropriate to use this type of term, especially when you're in the Overwatch League. And a lot of people thought it was Fissure who was the one who edited the video and put it in there. But in actuality, Fissure never really said it, and it was the editor who made the video who put it in there without the supervision of Fissure. But that kind of got like blurred between lines and stuff, and he just started fighting on Twitter with his community, and that's kind of the problem here with Fissure, is that every time he gets attacked, he immediately just defends himself, and it turns into like a huge argument and this huge drama thing. I mean, I've literally posted videos on my YouTube channel during season 1 where Fissure was fighting like 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds on Twitter, and they didn't even speak the same language, so it was such a mess. Anyways, so where Slasher comes into the situation is when Fissure was defending himself and fighting some random fan on Twitter who turned on him and doesn't like him anymore because of this situation. Fissure responded, and he tagged in Slasher by saying this: "This is why I hate some Twitter player. Look at this where is true. Fissure used the term on stream. LOL, where is fact? Do you have this at Slasher?" And again, this is the biggest problem with Fissure. He literally fights with people on Twitter in English, and you have no idea what he's trying to say half the time. And it just makes it even worse and makes him look more like an idiot. And then Slasher responded, and he said this, which was really ironic: "The source is once again not my thoughts, Fissure." And then the funny thing is, Fissure actually responded to this, and he apologized to Slasher for involving him. He said this: "I did not host it because I was so excited. I'm sorry. I know there was no reason to mention you." And then Slasher responded, he said, "No problem. Focus that energy for dunking on the gladiators." And then Fissure responded, "Oops, sure." So to kind of sum up this situation, Fissure was accused by his fans of using a sexual harassment term, and they really didn't like it. And because of this, they turned on him. Then Fissure immediately started responding to them and fighting them on Twitter, which made it worse for him, even though he actually didn't use the term. It was his editor, but he wanted to defend his editor, and now it's just like a huge mess. And yeah, Fissure just can't seem to stay out of the drama, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this. I wanted to cover it a couple days ago, but I didn't think it was that necessary, but since he did involve Slasher, it got even more interesting. Let me know what you think, and now let's move on to Sideshow's power rankings. So he did a very similar power rankings compared to Reinforce, where he just listed them and then gave a quick note on the right side. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and we'll start off with the 20th ranked team. We have the Washington Justice, and he said this: "Weak supports plus off tank, Yanis not great, and the team overall is inexperienced." Okay, moving on to number 19, we have the Florida Mayhem, washed up Central, poor tank line, and 2 languages. Moving on to number 18, we have the Chengdu Hunters, weird team with questionable tanks and suicidal DPS. Number 17, we have Paris Eternal, lots of good coaches, but also lots of inexperience plus holes. Moving on to number 16, we have the Atlanta Reign. They have great skill, but there's going to be communication and mental issues and lack of coaching experience. I completely agree on that. Number 15, we have the Houston Outlaws. Low individual skill, one-dimensional, but still has really good synergy. And so far, his power rankings kind of look really close to mine, except for a few pieces moved around here and there. I do have Chengdu Hunters at last. Washington's number 19, Florida's number 18, but then we have Atlanta, Paris, and Houston. I've done all of them in my bottom 6. Moving on to number 14, this one's an interesting one. We do have the Shanghai Dragons. He said good experience, but questions on off-tank plus supports. Moving on to number 13, we have Toronto Defiant. Says they're underrated. Ivy and Nako are great. Yakpung and Envy are aggro. Moving on to number 12, we have the Guangzhou Charge. English is okay. Happy/Shu are nutty, and there's a good core in this team. Moving on to number 11, we have the Boston Uprising. Strong core. The DPS are weak. They might sign someone, but Gunba is a good coach. Moving on to number 10, we have Seoul Dynasty. Jesse is an A+. They have a mix of all-stars/has-beens, and they could collapse. Moving on to number 9, we have the Hangzhou Spark. Nice new blend, some carries, but they do have 2 languages. Moving on to number 8, we have the Dallas Fuel. RCK, Zachary, and Closer fill their holes. Good tank play and coaching. Number 7, we have the Vancouver Titans. Great synergy, meta-proof, but no NA/Overwatch League experience. Number 6, we have the LA Valiant. The DPS are worse, the coaches are reduced, but still are a solid team. Moving on to number 5, we have the LA Gladiators. Decay is a beast, Roar is good, and their system works. Moving to number 4, we have the San Francisco Shock. Enormous upgrades and crusty, but they are still unproven. Number 3, we have Philly. They have Sato and 2018 experience, equal consistency, and then mad DPS play. Moving on to number 2, we have New York Excelsior, A+ team. Will they stick to a core and adapt to the meta is the question. And then number 1, London Spitfire. They have low internal conflict, they have consistency, and an insane roster. Honestly, overall, I really agree with these power rankings. I feel like the bottom 6 are like perfect. As I said, they completely match mine. Moving into the middle of the pack area, though, I kind of disagree a little bit. Like Dallas being number 8, I feel like they should be number 12 maybe, and then move up like Seoul Dynasty to 8. Move up Guangzhou Charge, Toronto Defiant, and Shanghai just a little bit. Boston Uprising, move them down under those teams. But then looking at the top 7 teams, we have the Titans, the Valiant, the Gladiators, San Francisco Shock, Philly, New York, and London. That all looks pretty decent to me. I might not agree 100% on this list, but I think it's a really good one and it makes total sense, at least compared to Reinforce's list, who was all over the place. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this list though. That is going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoy my content, drop a like and subscribe for more daily double uploads. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.